Luciana Mikos is here to share her unique career journey and intentional transition from corporate roles at tech companies like Qualcomm to economic development consulting, and eventually running her own creative events business in the furniture industry. Fascinating. Across all of these roles, people, connections, and relationships have always been at the center of her interests, alongside a deep passion for innovation and meaningful work. This approach gave her the opportunity to apply her business administration degree across diverse, real-world settings. After attending a launchpad meeting with a friend during her own career transition, Luciana enrolled in this ACC Strategies for Today's Jobs course and worked with career coaches. Two key steps that helped her clarify her direction, refresh her skills, and regain momentum. That journey led her to her current role at Better Way, a health tech company where she now leads community engagement and event organizing in the health and wellness space. Luciana will share insights on navigating career pivots, aligning your experience with meaningful work, and staying open to new opportunities. She also emphasizes that one of the most important things you can do during a career transition is to take care of your health, proactively and preventively. To support this, her team from Better Way will be on site to guide you through creating an account and receiving a fingertip blood test, a $4 clinician fee, by us, and then only 6 to 12 drops of blood are needed, so it's a pea-sized amount, and you'll get your results in 1 or 2 days. I highly encourage you. We're paying for your clinician fee. You're going to get a free test. If you want more tests, it's going to be a discount off of that. Everything is tests are $25 or less. You know, it's free. Just do it. Find out. You know, there'll be a list of all kinds, a menu of all the different tests that you can take, and you know, whether you're curious or you don't want to know, I still think it's a good idea. So I'd like to introduce Luciana Mikos. There is a better way.
Great, crowd for me to interact with. So let's have a conversation instead of a presentation. So ask me questions as we go. I will talk today about my experience on transitioning jobs in my career. I will talk about staying healthy, the importance of staying healthy throughout the job search. So important. And with that, the importance of staying connected to your community, to your family, friends, staying connected. That is very important. And I want to thank Shannon. She does an amazing job with finding resources such as Better Way. And she's very creative, very resourceful, and she's making this community the place to connect. So a safe place for you to connect, because we're all going through something very similar. I was there on the other side as well, not long ago. I have started working with Better Way in October of last year, so 10 months ago. So thank you, Shannon, for doing that. Okay, so it's very sweet for me to be here at ACC as well, and at the Job Club. So it's a full circle story. Let's see, where do we start?
Where are you from?
Thank you. I love that. Let's ask questions. I think that would be the easiest way to have this conversation. I'm from Brazil, from the south of Brazil, and I speak Portuguese, my first language. Then I learned English by taking lots and lots of classes, and then Spanish I ended up learning in Los Angeles. So I speak Spanish as well.
You don't look Brazilian.
That's right. My ancestors are from Poland. So end of 1800s, they started, different parts of Poland, different families going to the south of Brazil and colonized that area. And so we had a lot of Italians, Germans, a lot of people from Europe, and so they only married within their own culture, if you will, so to keep the language going for some time and all. And I'm 100% Polish, but born in Brazil. So that felt a little.
Luciana, you said that staying healthy during your job search. Do you have certain mantras that you reminded yourself of during that period to keep yourself healthy in mind and body?
Yes, thank you for that. So I do, I practice meditation every morning, every night. It doesn't have to be the same one, but it helps a lot for me to, at night you are pretty much disconnecting from things that happen during the day. You're just letting it go. It's time to sleep. It's time to rest. It's not always that simple either, is it? I'm not going to say that it always works, because last night, for example, I was too excited about this and I did not sleep much.
We could have called each other.
I did not sleep at all. So I know somebody that's going to take a nap today after some meetings in the afternoon. But I feel great because I am, I did my meditation this morning and I'm like, it's okay. I'm with friends. I'm just going to have this talk. And so yes, meditation is something that helps me a lot. Exercise, but of course we don't want to hear that, do we? I don't like to go to the gym, to be honest with you, but I do love to move. So I would just advise on find some kind of movement that you enjoy. And for me, it's dancing or walking. So find something, some movement that is good for you, and just keep consistent. Keep trying to build habits. We know it takes 21 days, I believe, to build a new habit. So just small steps towards healthier habits is very good to do.
Do you have any post-it notes or anything where you live that remind you of certain things?
Yes, I do. Well, I have one that says, your health is your wealth.
Oh, that's great.
So, yes, we have so many priorities, right? There's so many things, especially during a transition like that, because anything that changes in our life that's major, we feel like off balance. And yes, keeping certain mottos or some quotes that really motivate you is a great way to stay motivated.
Where we are today, where we've got blood testing at our Launchpad Job Club meeting.
Yes. Well, first I did make my health a priority, and I also went towards joy. So movement, right? So I figured out social dancing was something that I really enjoyed. So every Thursday I was going to social dancing, even though I had to look for jobs and all, but that was my therapy. And that's part of really the process, because you meet people, you are happy, you're feeling good, and then a friend from there invited me to go to, a friend from the dance invited me to come to the job club Launchpad, right? I was at another location, but I got to meet Shannon and saw that there was this connection between people going through a similar experience. Then from there, I came to ACC for an event, and then one of the girls at the front of at the Career Center, she mentioned to me, we have these classes starting next week on strategies for today's jobs, and it was completely free. And I thought, I already love this building, I guess, right? This campus is so amazing because it's repurposed and all. So I signed up right away, and I came to classes. It was July of last year, so I came to classes twice a week for 2 hours. Younger, older people, we were all together under the same, like we had similar goals. So I was able to mentor some younger people and became friends with the instructors, went hiking with them later, meaning it's just connections. You just put yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you don't feel like you're ready for it because you don't know yet what you want to do, and you might feel like an imposter. Who here does not feel like an imposter? It's every now and again, right? It's like, can I really do that? Can I apply for this job? They're asking for this, this, and that. I know I can do this part, but all of this?
If you're a guy and you have 40% of those skills, if you're a woman, you've got 85%. I don't know, 100. Apply anyway.
So that was part of my experience. But anyway, coming to the classes it was really a great investment of time. And you get to practice, well, first of all, you get to redo your resume, and they have career coaches so you can interview with them, mock interviews. So many resources that open up for scanning your resume and knowing how to prepare the resume so it can be scanned by companies and you will be called. I was called with the first resume that I put out there. I was called for an interview with South by Southwest and to do production events, and I was very, very close. I didn't get that one. It was the first one too, but I'm, I was glad that I did it. It was a great experience. And then I continued to put myself out there, right? I just really went to a lot of live events. Just look for things that you enjoy. Because when you go there, you're going to find people that are like-minded, that they will invite you to other events. One thing leads to another. I always think that energy creates energy. So then let's see, from the classes. Yes, then going to community events, for example. I love wellness and health and mental health, helping. I love helping people to improve their lives, either in self-development or health. So my background was, you already mentioned, so trade shows. The most recent career was for 15 years in the trade show business with furniture and design, consulting work. Earlier I was working for a venue in Las Vegas that built 3 huge buildings that were specifically for trade shows for furniture twice a year. A huge project, an amazing experience. I actually didn't look for that job. I wasn't looking for design for that specific kind of work, but I had been reduced, right, by Qualcomm at the time because of the recession. They had asked me to go back to San Diego. I had my job there, but pivot, right? You don't have that job anymore, so I went from technology to events, trade show design and all that. Great experience. Traveled the world later with consulting work. I was even able to go back to Brazil and work with the government of Brazil, with the part of the government, as in the agency that does the export promotion for designers, furniture designers, to export their talent here. So yes, just staying connected was really, really important. And let's see.
Well, how did you get to the point where you're here?
Yes, so then the community, by doing the classes, I really honing that, well, I love health, wellness, but I can really just make another investment at that point to get a certification and become a health coach or something like that, because I had crashed, right? So I didn't want to make another big investment. And I didn't feel like that was fulfilling anyway, because it would be like mostly like one-to-one. I wanted to have more of an impact. So I just kept going, even though I didn't know what it was exactly that I wanted to do. I went to the community events, and there was yoga, for example, for free at a park. So I went to that class, or to the event, and then I looked around and I'm like, there's so many vendors here. Everything is related to wellness and health, and who is this company that's organizing this? It's super well organized. And it was Swift Events, Swift Fit Events. If you haven't heard about it, please look it up, because they do a lot of things for the community. So Swift Fit Events.
Swift Fit.
Yes, and so fitness and wellness. They have yoga every Sunday at the in downtown, and at the Domain, free classes. So it's all Eventbrite. You just look it up and you have free classes. You just need to RSVP. So looked around, and I love this company. They seem to be doing a great job. Researched them, and then I went to the next event and I introduced myself to the owner, because I recognized him from my research, and I'm like, I love what you're doing. Your company seems to be doing great, so would love to work with you. My background is in events. Not exactly the same type, but transferable skills. So, and that worked great, because it was a small company and they were not hiring, but they needed some support during some of the events. So I started working with them, and a few months later, I did have some odd jobs going on as well. But a few months later, I was working in their building in a beautiful event with wellness, where they brought different vendors. And I was in my element at all of their events. I was really like happy, aligned. And then I met Babson Diagnostics, which is the company that does the tests Better Way, developed Better Way. So they were one of the vendors there. And it got my curiosity, right? Because they were changing the way blood tests are done. So innovation, technology, local company, health tech. And I did the test at the end of my shift. When I was done with the event, I did the test. I was fascinated by it. And I could see the potential, right? Because it helps so many people to have access to their health information. I loved for myself, but I could see how I could help others if I was part of that. And again, I talked to them and said, I do events, as you can see. They thought I was a full-time employee with Swift, because I was, always like proud of being there. And I said, well, I'm actually a contractor, so I'm free. I can do this and that. The original idea, right, was that, I'll do part-time here, part-time there. Or being an independent contractor, actually. I was okay with that. 2 days later, I was interviewing in their lab, just doing a lab tour and interviewing with several people. And so I got to go around because I was having a lot of anxiety to submit resumes to jobs that I didn't know if I would like them. And it's a big commitment, right, to sign up for a big job and full-time and this and that, and then interviewing, and it takes so much time. It works for a lot of people, I'm sure. I realized that it's for me, it feels like going back into a box, but that's just because of my personality, right? So it's just knowing knowing what works for you. Because I did that journey, right, of going out there, going to events, talking to people, just exposing myself to things that I wasn't used to. And then you figure it out what you like and what you don't like. So when you do see an opportunity in front of you, you're like, yes, I want this. So Better Way then became my employer, and I do still work with Swift because it's a very good alignment still, but just it's an add-on. So I'm very happy right now because I have, complementary things that I feel very aligned with the values, the mission. Yes.
Luciana, thank you for sharing. It seems like you're a natural networker, and that's your natural element. You do a good job of that.
Thank you.
What's your approach when you're in an event, just to spark that interest? Obviously, you're looking for that opportunity, but you don't want to come across like, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity. But from your experience, what's worked well for you?
Just be a human. Just be a human. I think the best way is to go to events, to live events. I swear by it, meaning just target the events that you go to. If it's networking, it might be a little too generic, but if it is a more curated, so for example, people in tech, in the tech industry, have you heard of Fiesta? Anybody has heard of Fiesta? Sorry, no. So it's a Capital Factory. Yeah, Capital Factory. They have a meeting every month, and it's called. So it stands for founders, investors, entrepreneurs. Yes, help me out. Startups, techies, in Austin, newbies. That's right. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So they have they have over 200 people every time they have a meeting, and it's lively. It's a great. Well, my friend Milan here can tell us a little bit. Is it a great environment to network or what? So, thank you for sharing that too.
So
Yes.
do you consider yourself an extrovert when you network?
Good question. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but this is out of my comfort zone. And when I go into a more intimate group, right, like just as long as it's this group right here, I can be an extrovert, yes.
If you're in a big group like with 200 people and you're actually an introvert like me, how do you handle that? How do you interact and use your energy?
You go with your energy. Really, like it's reading your own energy, right? So it's really like going towards like people that you feel like there is good vibes there. And if you approach and you notice that I'm like, oh, actually, no. So like you just keep moving, and it's a beautiful thing, as in if you keep going towards joy and events like that, like you get to know yourself better, right? And then you become more aware of your energy, and then you can approach people more easily because you start becoming like you smile and you're approachable. So it's important to research and go to events that you feel very aligned with, and then you will find people that are like-minded. So it's hard not to make friends in a place. Friends even. I make friends at networking events because I'm always connecting people as well. As soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, I hear you can meet this person and you can do something together or be friends. Or that's great. And I have another hint too, that it's a great way to, like if you volunteer at events, because then you're helping and you're kind of like on the outside, you can see everybody and you're doing things, you have a purpose there. So that is one of the best days. And I forgot to mention, I did do a lot of that last year too. I went to South by last year, and did you all know that you can volunteer and get a badge? Yes, great. Yes, it is. It is. And I did the education part and the talks, and so I did a little bit of the music because I had access to, but really my interest was talks and all that. So, yes.
So, tell us a little bit about what all is involved in your current position with blood testing.
Yes, and then we're going to get into what Better Way does as well. So thank you for that. I do events, so it's considered a startup still, even though they have been in business for over 10 years, because as you can imagine, a whole lab takes a lot of approvals and research and all that. And Milan can testify to that, right? Like, it's kind of a, yeah, FDA approvals. Yes. Oh, meaning we are certified by every. Yeah.
The lab itself has to have certain requirements in order to do the blood testing, and then you always have to, keep the regulatory bodies informed.
Yes, because we have audits all the time, and we have to comply. So we're a full lab. And
the background, just so people understand, it's like these aren't just a couple of people off the street.
yes,
I mean, it's
thank you
like-
for that. Yeah, so we did our founders, Eric Olson and David Stein. They worked at Siemens. Thank you. At Siemens, and I'm sure everybody have heard about Theranos, right? That was that thing about that promise about being able, people being able to do a blood test at home with one drop of blood, and they knew they worked for the high-tech company, so they knew that there was no technology that could do that. So, and they figured too, if that was true, then they were way behind. So they had to go and investigate all of that, and they investigating, they figured out that a lot of people had not been doing their tests, blood tests, for some time, and for one reason or another. Meaning, some people are afraid of the needle, some are just like the veins cannot be found. They're rolled up, they're small, it's painful, it can be traumatizing. Actually, I have some data right here. 78% of people have some kind of anxiety. 58% report moderate to extreme anxiety. 37% report fear of needles. And then, of course, when you start talking about mental health or some kind of addiction and things like that, people that have recovered, they can't imagine, they can think of that will trigger them, right? So the company was really created to solve that problem. Like, they saw that bad situation happening there, but they said there is an opportunity here to do something right. And they incubated the company inside of Siemens, so then they could use the technology that was already solid, right? So they adapted their technology to create these small, to be able to process blood tests with 6 to 12 drops of blood, which is amazing. With a fingertip collection, just a little prick of the finger to break the skin pretty much, but then there is a hand warmer, and the hands sit there, and it's just it's just helping there to go into the tube. Then it's scanned, the tube is scanned, the sample goes into our machine. I hope everybody already had a chance to check out the machine in our next door. So that machine does not process anything, right? The test is not being done there. It's not completed there. It's just staying at the right temperature, keeping at the right temperature, and also centrifuging, like preparing so preparing for to be processed in the lab. So normally we sell our tests on our website, betterway.com. They're very affordable. The mission of the company is to make it easy, affordable. Just it's a no-brainer, right? If you want to check on your health, you can choose from 60 plus tests. You go online, you purchase the test you want for $25 or $19, very affordably. And then you can you choose a location that's close to you, a pharmacy or wellness clinics. So after you create the account, you choose the location, you make the appointment at your convenience. You don't have to wait for weeks for the lab to be scheduled. And then it's a beautiful collaboration between, like during the appointment, it's a beautiful collaboration of machine, like high tech, and human. You need both, right? So then the machine will not let you make a mistake, because all the steps are set right there and everything is scanned. The machine talks back. It talks with you, so it guides you through the process. And then within 1 to 2 days, you get the results in your account. And that makes things a lot easier because everything is explained in the account. It's not gibberish like I used to Google all my results when I went to the doctor. I would get my results of blood tests. I'm like, what does this mean? And so now it's a lot easier to get your results. And you can still download that as a PDF and share. You can share with your holistic doctor or your primary care physician, but it gives you a lot more flexibility because you can choose what to do with your health. When I did the test the first time, I wanted to work for them because it's helping people to get their health information in a simpler way. But the form then, it is just because we're still growing, we're still expanding, so we're not at all the doctors yet. Well, of course, we are doing the outreach and all, but on our website, we do have a page there for clinicians, and then it's there, a link to the form. But you have the right to go to your doctor if you like the process that you see here and you want to have fingertip blood collection. You take the form and you go to the doctor and you say, I want this and I want my insurance to cover, of course. So, and we're very transparent about the prices. The same price that you see on the website, $25, $38, I think some of them are, but that's what the insurance will cover as well. They will pay that. Oh. Yeah. And let's connect as well, and I'll be sure to follow up on that to see that you get that done as well. So, and then just to follow up on this, the doctor will, because I did that earlier this year on my annual, I went to my doctor, primary care, and they didn't know either. They didn't know about Better Way, but I showed them, and they fax that. They choose all the tests they wanted done. They fax it to the lab, and then I get a text message saying, your doctor ordered these tests. Go ahead and choose the pharmacy that's closest to you. Sorry if I didn't mention before, by the way. So when we don't have this machine right on site, then you choose your test and you go to the pharmacy that's closest to you. So we partner with H-E-B, People's Pharmacy, Sam's Clubs. So not all of them yet, because we're training, expanding, bringing the equipment, but a lot of them. So throughout Austin, you just choose the one that's closest to you, go to your appointment with the QR code, and the 1 or 2 days you get the results in your account, and then your doctor gets that too. So you have that conversation going already. Thank you for saying that. And it really is like the nervous system is what we need to take care of during a transition like that, because that's what gets triggered a lot. So we have a resource right here, a coach that can help us with that. I have been to his workshops, and now we have the cortisol test too. Yes, the fight or flight. And,
I'm going to blame my midsection on it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you can tell how cortisol affects us, or stress affects us, right? Like, I was stressed. It was a good stress even, right? I was excited about this, but I couldn't sleep. It affects us, even if it's good stress. So and I know my like, I have meditation, I have tools for this, but I just couldn't help it. Yeah, and again, it might not be for everybody, right? Like, there are a few people that will not have good blood flow, or if they're not hydrated, we have reminders, right, for people to be well hydrated the day before, the day of. We should always hydrate anyway, but and then the whole process was set up with the customer in mind. So it was very mindful, right? Because even when you put your hand there in the hand warmer, you don't see your own blood being collected because it's hidden away there. So people that have some kind of sensitivity, they always have to turn away. Like, it's a very soothing experience. The other day we had an event, and I realized I didn't answer the question about what I do there, but it's when our director of HR, she was in charge of doing the events before, because they do a few things. She does a great job, by the way. So then it's so the events that she organizes, I just work at it, right? Like, I support along with other employees, but I also get to do community outreach and going to events like this. I organized this from the beginning, met Shannon and said, hey, let's have a talk and have my team there and do the collection. And then I do outreach to holistic practices as well, that a lot of them, they cannot order blood tests, but then they can ask the patient to go directly, buy their test, and then share the results, and then they get to work through that.
Doing contacts with Luciana, and she can set up a short lab, and I swear I was blown away. I thought, do I need
Just Shannon can see the value of the service, and it is my job to find communities that can appreciate this resource. And giving can be connecting, or telling about I think I have made a few friends here this way too, right? That I invite to events, and then and you give hope too, like, it's just this spark. You're just this. We're all in this together. We're all connected. Yes. And I would treat networking too, kind of like dating, as in, go and talk to people, expose yourself. The talk is not great, the energy is not great, it's thank you, goodbye, and you pass on. But at least you know what works and what doesn't work, and it's just talking, and like you said, like, if it doesn't jive, thank you, bye, and go talk to the next person. And then I talk to people in my community, my apartment complex, and it's just, I meet people every day. I cannot even help it. And it's just lovely to go out and see people that you don't have to talk every time. You just, hey, you make eye contact, and it's like connection.
Austin is a great place for that. If you're
Yes.
in LA and you're talking to somebody, they're looking over their shoulder, looking at the person they want to talk to.
Or in London, right? You're not even supposed to be making eye contact. You're supposed to, like, not. New York, yeah. Exactly. That's why I'm here, because of East Coast swing dance. So thank you for that. And yes, go towards joy. Go find what you like to do. I tried acro yoga. Anybody knows what acro yoga is? I love that. I haven't been in a while now because I'm so busy, but I do want to go back. And if we had the presentation, I would actually have some photos there to show just a little glimpse of what I did while I was working or working on finding work, if you will. And South by Southwest, of course, I highly recommend because it's your brain just lights up with ideas, and you get to see all the talks and what's new, what's the future, and all that. So what's here now, right? And then I would say community events. I highly recommend that you check out Swift Fit events. Oh, I even forgot a tea there. There's a tea here. And it's not because, I work with them. It's because they are doing something great. You can go there, get some wellness, and take care of yourself, meet people. And then the Kind Power is a community that I just joined recently. I will be helping to create events, meaningful events as well, talks. It's for people that have been through some kind of trauma or some kind of abuse. So, it's a way of giving back. So that's what I have. And you can find that on LinkedIn. So I think that's it. Any questions, anybody?